Game live broadcast I'm doing every single Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, United States. I'd like to welcome everybody and hope you are winning your cash flow game in your business and personal life. I am the author of Winning the Cash Flow Game Mindset Hacks and e-learning courses where I teach people how to win the cash flow game. Now, what is the cash flow game? It is the process which everyone in their life is trying to manage cash, whether that's your personal life or your business life. Now, I don't deal with personal finances. I know wonderful people who do. If you ever need a referral, let me know. I can send you to some people. But what I do is work with business cash flow. And it's just the 5 or 10 normal ways. If you go try to look up cash flow articles on the internet, you'll find pretty basic information. And the last thing you're going to find is whatever the author wants to sell you. For me, I look at it as a huge picture of tons of options, and I blow up the box of thinking around cash flow. Not here. It's doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. When it comes to cash flow, the only thing I make sure of is legal and ethical. Other than that, there are so many ways to manage your cash flow. Now, one of the biggest challenges that companies have is thinking not about the tactics. Tactics, you can say, oh, we want to collect cash faster. Okay, great. How are you going to do it? What is the strategy you employ to get your customers to pay you faster if that's an issue? But I'd also contend that are you sure it is strategically to your advantage to have them pay faster? It is not for every single business. Sometimes it's strategically advantageous for your clients to pay you slower. Why? They'll pay you more. Now, your business may not be able to support this model directly, but there's all sorts of ways to get you paid quickly while your customers pay slowly. Now, that's one of the things that I cover in my Winning the Cash Flow Game Strategies course. And that is what I want to talk to you about today is strategies and a bit about course. Yes, I would encourage anybody who's thinking about this to go to my website, davidsafir.com. And hopefully it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And if it's not, Abigail, my producer, she's going to put there in a second, davidsafir.com, and go visit my store. And you'll see there's a strategies course. Now, I haven't done a great job of telling you everything that's in there on the website, but I'm going to tell you a little bit right now what's there. And if you stick with me, I've got a discount code for people who are watching right now to get 40% off. So I'll tell you that in a minute, but I want to tell you more about the strategy course. It is about mindset. It is about how do you think about everything that you do inside your company and how it impacts strategy. Now, let me tell you about one of my favorite chapters. And I've got actually on LinkedIn, you can read the article, but I've taken the article, expanded it, and added exercises. Now, which one is that? It's fire your loser clients. I do not subscribe to the client is always right. When are they wrong? When they're taking money out of my pocket and it costs me more to deliver their goods and services than they're paying me. And this happens all the time. I've looked at companies and I ask, why are you selling to this client? It's costing you money. The general answer is, I need the volume. I need the work. They're really nice people. There's all sorts of reasons that business owners continue to sell to loser clients. Now, when I say loser, don't get me wrong. Generally, these are nice people, generally, but they're losing you money. So, what do you do about it? Well, you could fire them right off. I do not recommend that. What I recommend is analyzing, why are you losing money? Is it their product mix? Is it because you're spending too much time with them? Take a look. And then, if they're a good client and if they really are good people, then you sit and have a discussion and you try to raise prices. You have the discussion saying, we cannot spend as much with you. Or better yet, is we will need to increase our fee working with you. And this is why. Now, if you have a contract, you're obligated. But maybe then you start looking at your contracts and say, what can we do to avoid this in the future? And even if you have a contract, there are times when people are reasonable and would allow you to increase prices, at least to the point where you're not losing money. Now, I am not just talking about with fully burdened overhead. I'm talking about where it's called gross margin, where the income coming in, the cash in, is less than the actual hard costs to deliver the goods or services. That's where you really want to be careful. But there's a whole chapter exercises on how do you identify these people. And when I say people, because companies are made of a bunch of people, so they're not bad people, they're just loser clients, and how to work with them and how to make decisions. So that's one. There's strategies on doing bookkeeping. Now that might sound, oh, David, bookkeeping so boring. But if you do not have good bookkeeping, you will never appropriately manage your cash. It will always be out of control. And I explain why that happens and what to do about it. Listen, go ahead, take a look. You've waited long enough. The coupon code, Abigail is hopefully putting it up on the screen right now, or will be there in a second. It is Strategy 40. That is a coupon code, and doesn't matter if you're listening it live right now, or if you're one of the people watching after the broadcast, whether it's the same day as I record it, a year from now or 2 years from now. It is a coupon that expiration date. So go ahead and use it. Strategy 40. You can go ahead and get the course. It is the course that people just seem to be finding out of nowhere. I've never talked about this course before. It's just been on my website, and I decided, hey, why not? Let's talk about it today. So, as a recap, strategy and how you think about cash flow is just as important as the nuts and the bolts and the dollars and the cents. How you approach it will make a huge difference in whether you're creating a temporary fix or a long-term solution. And with that, I'm going to give you one more example. Keep digging. This problem is not what you think it is. What does that mean? All too often, we focus on fixing the symptom, and we don't realize there's a deep, dark, underlying problem that if we don't fix, we will never really optimize our cash flow. And I can tell you that the first example I gave you of finding your loser clients, not having enough cash is the symptom. It's loser clients is one of those root cause problems that some company has. Another one would be loser products. Now, there's the possibility that you've intentionally decided to lose money on certain products, then to capture market share, or as a loss leader to get new clients in or onto your email list. But that's not what I'm talking about with loser products. What I'm talking about products is the exact same thing I'm talking about with loser clients. You do the analysis and it's costing you more to deliver the product or the service for everybody than you are bringing in cash. And yes, this happens. Or it's the product mix that some of your products your selling margin is too low. You're not actually losing money, but it's killing sales of other products that are much higher margin value, and you might do an adjustment on that. Now, here's a little trick. Why do movie theaters have three sizes of popcorn? It's because it's easier to make the decision to get the expensive popcorn, the big one. I won't go on into all the details, but there is something you should be thinking about is having options for the products. And when you do, having at least three. Hey, that's it for today. Winning the Cash Flow Game strategy course, davidsafir.com. I look forward to seeing you next week on LinkedIn Live. Hey, we're just starting this out. We're trying to figure out how to do responses on LinkedIn. If you're listening and asking questions, if you have a question today, I will respond shortly after this broadcast to your questions specifically. Have a wherever you are in the world. I want to do a big shout out to my friends in India. I have a lot of people following me and contacting me from that wonderful country that is so fascinating. That's one of the places in the world I've never been to before. I'm looking forward to visiting someday. A big shout out to them. Have a great week.